I invite you to let this story calm your mind and soothe your heart. Azalea and Lobelia's Journey to Strength. This story is about Azalea, a spirited girl from a small village, and Lobelia, a celestial star child, who embark on a journey that teaches Azalea the true essence of strength through friendship and dreams. Once upon a time, in a small village nestled in the lush valleys surrounded by towering mountains, there lived a bright and spirited young girl named Azalea. From the moment she could walk, Azalea was fascinated by the world around her. The vibrant colors of the flowers, the chorus of birds heralding the dawn, and the gentle embrace of the whispering winds as they passed through the trees. Her heart was full of dreams, each brighter and more exciting than the last, as she longed to explore the mysteries beyond her village. In the starry sky above, a star-child named Lobelia watched over her with keen interest. Lobelia was ethereal, a creature born from the stars themselves, glowing with a soft luminescence that danced across the heavens. Star children were known to be the guardians of dreamers, extending their celestial hands to those seeking guidance and companionship on their journeys. One night, as Azalea lay gazing at the stars, her eyes met the radiant glimmer of Lobelia. As their gazes locked, Azalea felt a gentle tug on her soul, an invitation to venture forth beyond her known world. "I feel your longing, young dreamer," Lobelia's voice whispered in the soft night air. "I will accompany you, if only you would dare to dream further than the horizon." Excited and a little afraid, Azalea accepted the ethereal calling. The next morning, as the world awoke in hues of orange and gold, Azalea prepared for her adventure. She filled a small satchel with necessities, a loaf of bread, a flask of water, and her grandmother saw habits that had guided many journeys before hers. As she stepped beyond the familiar safety of her home, Azalea felt a surge of energy. Lobelia's presence was beside her, invisible to the villagers. The path was long and winding, enkindled by the spirit of adventure. They walked under the canopy of the sky, where the clouds floated like silken riverboats, while the earth met Azalea's footsteps with a welcoming embrace. Many challenges lay ahead of them. Some were simple, like crossing a narrow stream, while others were daunting, like scaling a steep rocky cliff. Each obstacle tested Azalea's courage and resolve. Whenever fear threatened to overcome her, Lobelia would appear, a shimmering guide that painted encouragement into her heart. Strength is born not from perfection but persistence, Lobelia would remind. It is your heartfelt endurance that makes you mighty. As days turned into weeks, Azalea and Lobelia formed an inseparable bond. With Lobelia's guidance and Azalea's indomitable spirit, they conquered each challenge one by one, finding new strength in unity. The journey revealed wondrous fields of daisies that matched the skies and forests of silent wisdom that whispered ancient lullabies. One evening, they reached the peak of the tallest mountain. The stars seemed close enough to touch, and the world below spread like a patchwork quilt. It was at this pinnacle that Azalea truly felt the weight of her newfound strength, a power glimmering within her courage that had been nurtured along the way. Lobelia smiled radiantly, her ethereal form blending with the stardust. "You see, Azalea, strength has always been within you, waiting to be discovered in the unity of friendship and the essence of dreams." Azalea returned to her village, radiant with stories and a heart full of stars. She was greeted with awe and joy, her presence the beacon of inspiration. Her journey was not the end, but a beginning, a promise of dreams still to explore, and a friendship never to fade. And as the nights rolled into days, Azalea would always find Lobelia among the stars, a reminder of the strength shared between the earthbound and the celestial, as they continued to laugh with the winds and dance amongst the cosmos. Another story begins to bring you warmth. Saffron and Violet, a tale of comfort. His story is about Sakura and her violet-colored cat Violet, finding comfort in each other's presence throughout changing seasons. The Sakura was a gentle soul who lived in a quaint cottage surrounded by cherry blossom trees, each pink petal dancing in the spring breeze. Every morning, Sakura would open her windows and let the scent of blossoms fill her home, breathing in the aroma that promised new beginnings. Her home was modest, but cozy, filled with trinkets and memories of a life spent dreaming and reading. One day, Sakura sat reading her favorite book by the window. She heard a soft meow that tugged at her heart. Curious, she set aside her book and peeked outside, her eyes meeting the gaze of a small, violet-colored cat looking right back at her. The cat's eyes shimmered with curiosity and charm, inviting Sakura to step outside. Sakura carefully approached the delicate creature, her every movement gentle and considerate. She found herself enchanted by the cat's unique color, which reminded her of the twilight skies just before night falls. Naming him Violet, Sakura decided to welcome the little explorer into her warm abode. Violet soon made the cottage his home, and with every passing day, the bond between Sakura and Violet grew stronger. They shared quiet moments in the garden, where Sakura would watch Violet chase the fluttering butterflies, his violet fur glowing in the sunlight. Violet had a peculiar way of comforting Sakura, especially during moments when the world seemed too big and overwhelming. He would snuggle beside her, purring softly, his presence a soothing balm to her restless heart. On rainy nights, when the wind whipped through the cherry trees, Sakura would settle into a large armchair with Violet curled on her lap. She would read aloud, the sound of her voice mixing with the patter of rain against the window, creating a haven of warmth and solace within the walls of the cottage. Sakura found comfort in the simplicity of these moments, realizing that Violet's companionship filled her home with a love that was both profound and gentle. As seasons changed, Sakura observed how the blossoms mirrored life cycles, and with Violet by her side, she embraced each change with a heart full of gratitude and peace. Heaviness drifts softly into the next comforting tale. Petunia and Flower, a tale of respect. This story is about Petunia's journey of respecting her phoenix friend's wish to explore beyond their beautiful garden. Once upon a time, in a small town nestled between towering mountains and lush meadows, there lived a kind-hearted girl named Petunia. Petunia had the rare ability to understand the language of animals. She cherished spending her days in the vibrant gardens of her family home, where flowers bloomed with all the colors of the rainbow. One day as she wandered through the garden, she encountered a majestic phoenix with feathers ablaze in brilliant reds and oranges. Its name was Flower, and Petunia felt an instant connection with the enchanting creature. Despite its fiery appearance, Flower had a gentle spirit, and the two soon formed an inseparable bond. Petunia admired Flower's beauty and grace, but sometimes struggled with its free-spirited nature. Flower loved to soar high above the gardens and explore new areas, while Petunia preferred the earthly comforts of her flower beds. Yet, Petunia understood the importance of respecting Flower's independence. She learned to listen to Flower's desires and dreams, just as she did with her blooming plants. One sunny afternoon, Petunia noticed Flower behaving erratically. It seemed troubled, its radiant feathers appearing dull and lifeless. Petunia approached the phoenix gently, asking if aught were the matter. "Dear Flower, what's the matter, dear Flower?" A sound like the rustling of autumn leaves. "I feel trapped, Petunia. I long to see what lies beyond this garden, to experience more of what the world has to offer." Petunia felt a pang in her heart. She loved their days spent together and worried about losing her companion. But she realized that true respect means allowing Flower to pursue its own path. With a heavy heart, Tintia replied, "A wife for you to stay. I understand your need to explore. I'll always have a home here with me." Touched by Petunia's thoughtful response, Flower promised to return whenever possible. As it spread its wings with renewed vigor, its feathers ran in dazzling flames. Petunia watched as Flower soared into the sky, leaving trails of light in its wake. Seasons changed, but Petunia's garden remained a place of beauty and peace. She continued caring for her plants, finding joy in nature's endless cycle of bloom and rest. True to its promise, Flower visited often, sharing stories of distant lands and exotic adventures. Petunia listened intently, celebrating Flower's discoveries and treasuring its friendship. For their shared respect, Petunia and Flower's bond grew deeper, like the roots of a tree that embraced the earth, strong and enduring. In respecting Flower's wishes, Petunia learned the profound beauty of letting go while holding on to love. This heartwarming story teaches us that respecting others' wishes is a gift more precious than gold, and for it, our relationships flourish, much like Petunia's cherished garden. Now, let's settle in for another gentle story. The Kindness of Tansy and Iris. This story is about Tansy and Iris showing kindness and saving the singing meadow flowers from a storm. In a quaint little village nestled between rolling hills and sparkling rivers, there lived a girl named Tansy, whose heart was as tender as the morning dew. Her smile was like the first ray of sunshine that dances upon the meadows, spreading warmth wherever she went. Tansy's laughter was a melody that echoed through the cobblestone streets, bringing joy to everyone she met. One sunny afternoon, while wandering through the singing meadows, Tansy met Iris, a fairy whose voice was as sweet as the honey that drips from the hives in summer. Iris's wings shimmered in the sunlight, sparkling like diamonds in the sky. The meadow was alive with the sounds of crickets singing and the gentle wind brushing through the wildflowers, a symphony of nature's beauty. Iris was tending to the wilting daisies with a gentle touch, whispering to them lullabies that only the flowers could understand. She sang to the sunflowers about the brave warriors of the field, and to the rosies about the love's stories carried on the wings of the breeze. Tansy watched with wide, curious eyes, enchanted by Iris's care for the flowers. And suddenly, a storm cloud rolled in, darkening the skies and sending a chill through the air. The meadow seemed to tremble under the weight of the impending storm. Then the frightened flowers quivering under the mighty sky. Both Tansy and Iris felt a surge of kindness ripple through their hearts. With a determined nod to Iris, Tansy began to gather the flowers, gently placing them under the white oak tree at the edge of the meadow, safe from the fury of the storm. Iris, fluttering beside Tansy, created delicate shield of sparkling light around the newly gathered blossoms, ensuring their safety. The two friends worked swiftly, each flower finding refuge in the shelter of kindness and light. As the storm raged overhead, the meadow glowed beneath the protective barrier of Tansy and Iris's compassion. The rain fell in torrents, drumming a wild tune of nature's power. But inside the shelter, every petal remained untouched by the storm's wrath. When the skies finally cleared, and the sun broke through the clouds, Tansy and Iris released the flowers back to the meadow. The daisies danced in the gentle breeze, the sunflowers looked proudly to the sky, and the roses swayed with grace, whispering thank yous in the language of their blooms. Tansy and Iris stood hand in hand, watching as the meadow became a vibrant tapestry of love and gratitude. They shared a look, knowing that the kindness they had shown would be remembered by the flowers, the winds and the sun for years to come. As evening painted the sky in hues of pink and gold, Tansy and Iris began their journey home, their hearts light with the joy that only acts of kindness can bring. Beneath the starlit sky, Tansy looked at Iris, who smiled back, her wings glistening gently. It was a day to remember, a story they would cherish in the quiet moments before sleep, where dreams weave tales as beautiful as the meadows they call home. Thank you for listening. Good night and sweet dreams.